Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Paps, rising VTuber and artist, and today we are gonna be playing around with a freeware application called MakeHuman. So I was browsing Wikipedia as you do, and I somehow managed to stumble into the a page that is for. Okay, so like there's Wikipedia pages which have like the actual information about the what do you call the trying to remember the word, the subject, right? And then there's also categories which talk about specific things in that subject. And I'm noticing, hang on, properties, here we go. There we go. The source hooked up the VLC wasn't playing properly. There we go. Anyway, I was browsing through the Wikipedia category for freeware programs, as you do, and I found a bunch of them that were related to modeling and 3D stuff and stuff like that. So, and I found two that really stood out to me that I really thought might be interesting to look at. One of them was this one, MakeHuman, and the other one we'll be taking a look at on Thursday called Sweet Home 3D, which is more like a computer-assisted design program that can help you lay out a room, create a building, make a space, and I'm hoping to use that for background stuff. I'm hoping to use MakeHuman, on the other hand, for stuff more like just background character making. So you can see it is very. I in my head I joked to myself that this reminded me a lot of like the character creators in Fallout games. So you do have a few different sliders. You have one for gender, which I think because this first model, this initial model, is supposed to look very androgynous. I do think, tilting it this way has a more traditionally masculine shape, and this one has a more traditionally feminine shape. Age, you can make. I'm sorry, the proportions on the jeans are fucking killing me with this one. Like little buddy, your jeans are fucked up. The baby. You're telling me Sweet Home 3D isn't a polygonal fan remake of the Famicom classic horror title Sweet Home? I'm afraid not. I'm believe me, I am as disappointed as you are. Okay, so wait, if this is baby mode, then oh, yep. Oh, look at those head wrinkles. Hang on, can I? How do I don't know how to zoom in on a specific part. There we go. Oh yeah, looking a little messed up there, my friend. But that's okay. We love you anyway. Can you make a big titty goth GF? Well, I can make a woman with large boobs. I don't have. Okay, so here's the thing. So technically this model comes without any clothes on. I had to slap the male casual Zoot02 preset on this guy in before I started stream, just so I wouldn't accidentally have this. There's nothing there, right? Like it's like a Ken doll down there, but there is nipple, no goth toggle. Like that's what I'm trying. Hang on, I'm trying to say. I'm working on it, right? So hear me out. Hear me out. We can add. Okay, what about? Hang on, female elegant suit 01. No, that's not really goth though. I don't know. There's very few. There's only a couple of female clothing options. Is the problem? You could probably make a woman with large. You could probably make a big titty woman, and you could probably make her approximately goth. You couldn't make her fully goth or your girlfriend for that matter with the base program. I don't think. You know what? Let me look at the back though. Hang on. Body shapes. Maybe there's like a. Hang on. Geometries. What about materials? Okay, there's middle-aged African female, middle-aged African male, default, which is supposed to be like nothing in particular. Middle-aged Asian female, middle-aged Asian male, middle-aged Caucasian female, middle-aged yeah, I'm looking in the back. There's no. We don't have. We're fresh out of goth GF. I'm afraid. We do have Toon, which is really fucking killing me. Dudes will show you this and be like, "Yo, hop on Killer 7." Give them the fedora. All right. I will give them the crooked fedora because I enjoy its jaunty angle. Young Caucasian female special... Hang on, what does special suit mean? What do you mean by special suit, MakeHuman? What does special suit mean? You know what, I'm gonna set this dude back to tune filter. I feel like tune is like the least problematic one. Okay, let's also reset the age. Like, hang on. Right now it says that age is at 90. It's what they wear in Sentai. It's a suit, but special. You know what? Those are both very valid points. Although I don't... Okay. I'm not familiar with tokusatsu very much. Is there a special suit that makes you Caucasian? Because I think that's the implication of the name of this file. Seriously though, like what is the difference between young Caucasian female and young Caucasian female special? Hang on, what if I... Okay, I'm gonna try something. So right now this is at age 90, 52% female, 47.90% male according to the it's battle fever? What does that mean? No way! No way! Suit that removes any... They got the fucking Caucasian install out there in Battle Fever? Oh my... That's highness. That is absolutely despicable. Alright. Age 24. Okay, I'm really curious, right? Okay, young Caucasian male special suit. Okay, that doesn't look particularly different. What about young Caucasian male non-special suit? Is the special part that they just have hair? I think it is. Actually, I think I see some undershirt too. Hang on. I'm going to keep it up. I'm gonna keep this whole affair above the neck, just in case this takes off their shirt when I remove the... Oh! Oh, that's what's so special about the suit. You know, I kind of fuck with this. It's very Tron-like. The fedora's kind of killing me with the... The addition of the fedora is a little bit hurtful in the context of this, but this is actually really good because now we don't need to worry about the nakedness problem. I'm gonna slap the clothes back on this guy. Just because I want to use, I don't know, the toon shader or the neutral... I feel like the toon shader was probably our best bet. 2010 sci-fi movie main character? No, fully agree. I do wish it was a little bit easier to rotate/navigate some of this stuff. So I feel like there's no pan up and down function for the camera. But yeah, okay, we got height 128 centimeters. That's like, okay, 2 meters is 6 feet. So we're looking at a little bit over, I want to say 5 foot nothing? I don't know. I don't have a good eyeball for the freedom units. And this is 236 centimeters, which is well over 7 feet, I think. Approximately. The Lakers need you to tune-shaded, nondescript individual. Okay, proportions. Oh, okay. So maybe that's more like endomorphic versus exomorphic, or whatever. And yeah, then we got the race sliders, which that doesn't seem to really do anything. I was saying earlier, this reminded me a little bit of how Fallout has, you know, the Fallout character creator in like New Vegas and 3 has like Asian, Caucasian, and African settings. I think those sliders are fine as they are right now. Okay, we got body shapes. Okay. ELVS female apple. What does that mean? Undefined waist, chest, and abdomen form a round silhouette. Oh, okay. Okay, where'd you go? Diamond. Broader hips and shoulders, undefined waist, and relatively small bust. Okay, I see. I see your game. These tooltips are a big help. Let's see. Elvis female full hourglass. I'm just gonna say ELVS is Elvis because it's just faster. Most feminine body type. Hips and bust are nearly equal in size, well-defined, narrower waistline, bottom and hips are rounded. Ah, okay, so this is like the Jessica Rabbit setting. And there's also the neat hourglass, which is lean body, hips and bust are nearly equal in size, well-defined, narrower waistline. Okay, so that's basically the same deal. Oh, okay, we can also control between body shapes and hormonal components. Wait, can we get this this androgynous entity on some E or T? ELVS male adrenal. The adrenal glands are producing cortisol, a stress hormone. If too much is produced, protein needed for muscles is turned into sugar, which is then converted into belly fat. Oh, neat. Okay. So yeah, that's almost like you got like a little potbelly action going there. Okay. Elvis male liver. If the liver is damaged, it could result in a fluid belly. Wait, so if I give him both of these, is he just gonna... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How can we maximize the amount of belly on this dude? I want to make this guy's midsection look like he's smuggling a globe. Oh no, it's me. You might want to get your liver checked out. Like all of this sounds like it's bad. Like in terms of just like the source of it. Like fat is good. Fat is neutral at worst. The fact that it's coming from an elevated cortisol level and damaged liver is a little bit concerning. Male gonadal. High insulin resistance, low testosterone, and high estrogen, which cannot be cleared from the liver, change the body. Huh. So we can't get this guy on E. Elvis male thyroid. Thyroid hypofunction is slowing down metabolism, which usually results in obesity. All of these are just different ways to make this guy fatter. Respect. Wait, so if we just maximize... Oh my god! Oh my god, there's a little bit of calf peeking out from the gene, too! We got fucking Kilimanjaro coming out of this dude's gut. That cannot be comfortable. Poor guy. Okay, what about gonadal? What is that? Can we throw that into the mix and see how it affects anything? It snatched their waist! Like their ribcage space got a little bit thinner. This shit is killing me. Okay, let's stop torturing the homunculus with different adrenal changes. Okay, what do we have in terms of male body shapes? Male triangle. Narrow chest and combined with heavier lower body. Okay, so we got pear-shaped options for guys too. That's pretty cool. Wait, what about female hormonal components? Is it the same deal, but just like in different ways? More cortisol, protein is needed for muscle turn into sugar. That sounds the same. Liver is damaged, it could result in fluid belly. That sounds the same. A surplus of estrogen will gain fat in the areas it is produced, and the surrounding areas, lower belly, hips, and thighs. Oh. So wait, if we... Oh my. Okay. Nice. What about the thyroid? Metabolism, which usually results in obesity. Okay, no. So it's literally all the same thing, except like there is the male hormonal component, gonadal, just estrogenizes the guy? Huh. Neat. Science is incredible. Okay, here's the real cash money. Breast size, breast firmness, vertical position, horizontal distance. It's a good thing we slapped a shirt on this beast. Firmness. I don't like that the more firm setting is almost at like a positive 20-degree angle. Like that thing is going at a harsh 11 o'clock. Wait, hang on. If we... Okay, yeah. Vertical position. Oh. Gets out the magnifying glass. Yes, we must investigate. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, listen, I appreciate the enterprising spirit. It's a little bit hard to be a pervert about all of this just because it is... It does feel just very clinical. Wait, horizontal distance. Hold up. I want to see something. I want to see something real quick. Huh. Okay. That's about what I expected, quite honestly. Is this all just... Oh, okay, no. There is also a genital setting. But I don't think TOS is going to let me play around with that too much. Sadly, I do. That's homework. Go download the program and figure that shit out on your own time. Pointiness? What do you mean pointiness? What do you mean? Okay, well, actually, pointiness is very self-explanatory, but like, oh my god. Breast volume. What, like how loud they are? Hang on, maybe we need to make them... Okay, maybe pointiness and firmness is needed to appreciate what volume means. What do you mean volume? Okay, so that's more like what's attached closer to the pectorals, I see. You can really go ham on some of these. Nipple size? We don't need to play with that. Nipple point, hang on. Can we... Is it possible to combine the technology of pointiness and also nipple point? Okay. You know what? I am a little disappointed. That wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be. Also, is there really no way to... Hang on. Pose, wireframe, grid... How do I mess around with the camera? Grab screen, reset camera? Yeah, that'll do. Wait, what's this? Bottom view. No, that's okay. We're not investigating this person's feet just at the moment. I really don't get how this camera works, but that's okay. Oh, we can set the face's age individually too. That's good to know. Head fat. Hang on, what happens if I max this out? Okay, we got some gels going. That's pretty good. Oh, there's even like different head shapes. What about the diamond shape? Oh, that's having some effects on the fedora. Literal. Get yourself an elastic fedora that fits your head perfectly. Scale depth of parietal side. Can we make this guy work out at the library? Oh yeah. And we combine it with a triangular one? Can we like... Okay, no, triangular doesn't do that particularly. Maybe it's like... I don't know, head fat doesn't really affect the size of it, but I think that's already kind of... You know, this is already maybe 2 or 3 times a week heading to the library to pump some dictionaries. There we go. Head size. Oh, perfect. Okay. Here, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Move horizontally. Dare I... Oh. You know what? I didn't think that would be what it did, but I'm kind of glad it is what it is doing. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's reset that. Move depth. Oh, can we give this guy like a tech neck? Oh yeah. All right. All right, so that makes a lot of sense actually in terms of just what you can do. There's a lot you can do here. Arms and length. Fingers length. Oh baby. Oh yeah. Get some real yaoi hand business going here. That's what I'm talking about. What? Oh my god! It only does the right hand or the left hand. You have to do them. You have to do them both individually. No, I was gonna say this looks a little off. Is it like the camera angle? No, you literally only affect one of the hands. This guy's like 50% of the way to being Faust. Oh boy. You know what? Yeah, randomize them. Okay, but yeah, you see what I mean? Just this randomize function can help you make... Whoa. I love the expression on their face. I don't know, there's something about those pursed lips that's just very compelling as an expression. I am a little disturbed that the toon shader doesn't seem to apply to the eyes. It does feel very much like some kind of synchro box business, which I don't fully appreciate. But yeah, you get some truly unique human specimens like this. And I think that's very helpful for things like making random background characters. You know, we're already getting quite a broad range. Oh, wait, we can also mess with the symmetry of it. Wait, what if we minimize the symmetry? Oh, like, look at this. This is an organism that nobody's ever seen before. This is like that fucked up baby old man from Jojolion. This is perfect. It's great to have people who look very different from what our idea of what a normal person looks like, especially if you're drawing things. I don't know. I feel like it is a very valuable resource. Wait, hang on. Targets? Rescan targets folder? Oh, wait. So that means you can probably just... I wonder... Okay, so I'm guessing that targets is... They use targets to refer to the different models... the different model types that they use to interpolate to make a more accurate middle point. So maybe if you can add additional targets. Okay, hang on. Neck circumference? Please, 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 please. Yes! Yes, dude! Oh, I was hoping that this was on the table. Look at this. Powerful. Seriously, I'm so excited. Like, imagine you get to draw something with a character that has these proportions. I don't know, there's something very liberating about not having to draw a character who's like very beautiful. Also, apparently they're 1 year old. Which is really funny to me. Can we make their torso super wide too? No, that's front chest distance. That doesn't do anything. Shoulder distance. Here we fucking go. Waist to hip, nape to waist. Oh, I didn't think it'll go that way. Okay. Hang on. Underbust circumference. Oh yeah. Really build this kid like a shit brick house. Knees? Oh, this is... Okay, knee circumference. Can we give this guy, like, really knobbly knees? Okay, yeah, that's what it does. That's exactly what it does. Okay. Ankle? Ankle circumference. Okay, so this is just the different circumferences of some joints and other features. Okay, okay. Okay, geometries is just a different clothing. We already know what those do. Eyes? Oh, we can actually do... Oh! We made him mad. Oh my god, hang on. How do I... Get me this guy's face on camera. Holy shit, this looks so scary. Listen, if you ever want to make a character design feel like it's scarier, take out their irises. You know, there's a lot of people who do like, oh yeah, it's very, you know, a lot of the time people will like blank out irises or add a lot of room to irises to make it to indicate that the character is blinded in some way. They did this in Avatar. But I think a very effective way to make a character scary is to just completely remove the iris. What about the low poly eye? Okay, no, that one... You know what? I feel like somehow the no eyes option is somehow the most charitable. I feel like this looks the least terrifying. Hair. Oh, okay, so we do have some hair options. This guy doesn't need to look like this forever. Okay. Oh, granted, none of them are particularly long, so... You know, there is some limitation. I don't enjoy the phrase teeth shape, if I'm being quite honest. It's the scariest part is that it's all under the hood. Like, right now we don't have their mouth open. To me, the opposite is how you make skeletons more scary. You'd have to add in the entire eyeball. Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a good point. I think, like, the thing that makes it scary is that it's a little bit unlike what happens naturally, right? So by the time you've decomposed into a skeleton, logic dictates that your eyeballs should be gone. But if your eyeballs are still there, that's some fucked up necromancer shit. Conversely, if you are a normal person, you would expect the eyeballs to be there, but therefore the scary part is like when you don't have eyeballs. What does topologies mean? Oh, okay, so there are like presets. Hang on, what happens if we do one of these topologies, so to speak? It looks like not much is changing. I'm guessing these are almost like presets for... Oh, wait. Proxy 741. Description. Minimal poly characters. 741 vertices, 730 faces. So this is like an ultra lightweight model. That's handy. Oh, and I'm guessing 1591 is how many faces they have. Okay. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to go for the low poly option. I just feel like it's more efficient for our purposes of messing around. We can also slap some eyebrows on this beast. I don't like that its eyes are gone now. What does that mean for us, necessarily? Is it gonna look better if we add some eyelashes? Oh my god, I don't know why that's so funny to me. Oh, they poke out! Oh, that's fabulous. We just nailed some fake lashes to this 1-year-old. There was a Vine like that, wasn't there? I distinctly remember there being such a Vine. And for tongue... We either have none or tongue 01. I don't think that's going to be particularly important. Okay. Pose/animate. Whoa. Wireframe mode. Tag filter game. Oh! Oh, you can rig these! Oh, that is really, really useful. Okay, hang on. This might be a bit of a game changer. Skeleton optimized for game engines. Like, genuinely, these could be really helpful if you want to... I don't know, could I export these to CSP directly? You know what? We'll leave the... Oh, wait, hang on. Optimized for motion capture data from CMU Graphics Lab Motion Capture Database. There's a motion capture database? Yo. Okay, it says that this one has 53 bones. I'm guessing most of those are in the feet. I'm guessing most of those are in the hands. Huh, okay. Pose. Oh, yeah. Oh, T-pose, very classic. What the hell is... This is very cowboy-like. Also, I think some of these are getting lost in translation because I removed their fingers. They don't have individual digits no more. Okay, go off. Go off, my homunculus. There's a motion capture database. Sounds like a line a character would say in a 90s tech movie. I mean, we did just recently have the Hackers 1995 anniversary. Booyah! I wonder if anybody's ever tried to do Evo Moment 37 with just the default poses. This has some real why I oughta energy. I think it's the fedora talking. Wait, there's also like, hang on, different expressions. Determination 01. Its face just became slightly more effect 02. Oh my god. Wait, what's effect 03? It's like some kind of grimace. Ah, buddy. Fear 02? Oh my god. Aw, smile. Skeptic 0. Why is it so good at communicating the expressions? These are really just solidly built expressions. My regards to the MakeHuman team. We also have animations, but it looks like only one frame available. That's fine. Okay, quick render, advanced render, settings, utilities. Okay, I think we've explored most of these tabs. This is still killing me. I'm gonna drink some water, hang on. I want to take a snapshot of this guy. I had planned to... Hang on. Save to... Okay, I see. Where did we go? Hello? Oh, I think they got the camera shy. Hang on, reset... I think they got camera shy and it blacked out the entire screen. Yeah, no, we fucked up. Alright, that's just as well. I was planning to start over here. So hang on. Is there a way to do a new file? Or like a reset? Hang on, I'm just gonna relaunch the program. God, this is such a cool program, though. Like, genuinely, just for that body type messing... How come you can see... Hang on, you're not supposed to see that. Why can you see that? Hang on, can I... Where... How... You're not supposed to see that! Where is that? There we go. Hang on, if I... Okay, there we go. A happy medium. All right. Make him. Okay. Guards relaunch MakeHuman. Wait, no, not perfect. Hang on. I gotta put a shirt on them again. I keep forgetting that they spawn in naked as a newborn. Okay. Can we... There we go. Alright, so this time... Okay, so we made our exploratory little freak. Now it's time to actually go into this with a particular purpose. So I'm gonna try and make, like, Pabs human style with the functions of this program. Which I think should give it a good, solid challenge, because... I've been kind of soft launching a new look for human Pabs. The main feature of which now that my neck is indistinguishable from my chin. So I'm kind of curious to see if this program can handle that, because if it can handle that, it can handle anything. Okay. I'm going to flatter myself and add maybe 60% muscle. Okay. Age 25 is good, though. Age 25 is accurate. Height. We need to make this guy shorter. Just a little bit shorter than that. Yeah, 163 centimeters is about right. Probably can push the Caucasian a little bit more. If I'm being quite honest. I'm the palest mestizo anybody knows. I'm not gonna fuck around with the hormonal components because I'm pretty sure I don't have any hormonal damage or dysfunction. Hang on, Apple mode. Oval shape with rounded stomach. That sounds about right. Okay, yep. Is there any way to bring out that puppy a little bit more? Maybe we can cause some... Hang on, thyroid. Is the thyroid the one? Slowing down metabolism, which usually results in obesity. Alright, yep. Just a little bit of that. And a little more. We can mess around with the arms and legs individually. The thing that I want the most is to have like a nice solid paunch. Male rectangle. Straight shape with chest, hips, and waist are about the same width. Huh. What if I... Oh, wait. That doesn't seem to play very nice with the hormonal changes that I've applied. Trapezoid. Athletic shape? That's not accurate. Inverted triangle? Muscular body? Nope. Narrow chest and combined with heavier lower body. That sounds about right. Hang on, maybe I can go back and undo a little bit of the male for thyroid if I just focus on Apple style. You have to do it Apple style! Has anybody seen that you have to do it bug style picture? That's left in my head rent-free day one since the very beginning. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, I'm not getting any Google hits for it. I'm getting a lot of different hits for the life cycle of bedbugs and what bedbugs are, and also the different identification of certain beetles. Which is lovely, but not what I'm looking for, unfortunately. Okay. Gender. The gender. Okay, so we're not gonna touch the genitals tab again because sadly we do have to we do have the cops watching over our shoulder at all times on this platform. Maybe just a little bit more boob. With some additional firmness, why not? I've been working hard recently. I deserve firmer tits than most. Yeah, a little bit higher on the vertical position too. It would be funny to do maximum nipple point just because nobody's gonna see it. But I think I'll demonstrate the temperance today. Age on the face. Can we actually bump that up a little bit? Or maybe bump it down, actually. I don't know. My brother has been described as baby-faced. I have had no such description. Now we can actually... You know what I do? You know, the years have worn on me a little bit. I'm gonna add just a little bit more age to it. Head fat? Oh, yeah. Angle. Okay, I didn't actually play around with this one the last time. What does this one do? Okay. So that's very self-explanatory actually in terms, you know, that I don't know what I expected Angle to do, but it really did do it. It's just me, or is my head is my dome a little bit taller than usual? I don't know. From the side, it looks fine. From the front, like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it just kind of looks a little monumental. No, my head is not square. Your head isn't square, bro. Come on. Alright, I think that's good for the head shape. Okay, hang on. Torso, scale depth. Hang on. Torso, hip. You know what, actually, let's stay on the face for a second, because we do need to... Actually, everything above the above the nose isn't really going to be a huge point of contention on account of the fact that you're not supposed to be able to see it. Nostril size? Awesome. Hang on. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Honestly, I don't really pay attention to the shape of noses very much. I don't know, there's, like, obviously if somebody has a spectacular and bold nose, right, you're going to remember that about them. But other than that, like, I struggle to remember faces and the difference between certain faces. On more than one occasion, I have mixed up two people that I have known perfectly well for like more than 3 months. It's always very embarrassing. Okay, let's leave the nose alone. Mouth, though? Now, mouth we gotta capitalize on. Oh, oh, we gotta... Wait, why is it... Hang on, this is kind of cool, actually. I like that. Oh, wait, scale depth of the lips. Oh, baby. Oh, no, wait, that's vertically. What about depth? Interesting. Yeah, we do have to make the mouth a little bit wider than most. Is there a way to make it look more smiling? Right now it's a little bit frowny. Hang on, move depth. me about to drink some really hot soup. God. Okay. What else we got? Mouth size details. Oh, okay. So this is messing around like with the lower lips and such. Okay. Cupid's bow width. Oh, is that the little cleft that lips have? Interesting. Mouth features. Oh my god, there's so much stuff to this. Cupid's bow shape. Upper middle curve shape? Oh my god. Scale philtrum volume? This is so advanced. I'm gonna add a couple of laugh lines. I don't actually have laugh lines, but I feel like I deserve them. I do laugh a lot. I don't think I have dimples, sadly. Chin and jaw. Oh, here we go. Scale chin prominence. Can we, like... Oh, yeah. Tuck that in a little bit. Actually, no. You know what? Only a little less than average. I feel like that's a happy medium. This is fascinating. I do think it would be better to focus on the torso, though. I don't know. I kind of just want to be refrigerator looking. Move horizontally and move vertically? No, we don't need that. Scale cone shape. Hang on. Dorsi muscles. Oh, I see. Pectoral muscle. Yeah, we can bump that up a little bit. Hips? Okay, where's the scale horizontally? There it is. Oh, yeah, there we go. Wait, what does vertically do? I don't think I know much about the verticality of hips. I'm not aware of such things. Waist vertical position? We can probably lower that a little bit. Stomach. Pregnancy shape? Pause. Oh, interesting. Navel bump. Let's... Hang on. Does that have like a meaningful effect if I bump it down? I don't think it really does. We can leave that alone. Buttocks? Where's the option to make them bigger? I deserve to have them big. I deserve to have a big butt. Not too big, though. I have to remain humble. Pelvis muscular tone? Hang on. Okay, that doesn't have, like, much of a meaningful difference, sadly. Still, I do love that you can mess around with it like that. All right, we're gonna need to have very clear memory. Oh, actually, no, hang on. Upper legs height. Oh, neat. Lower legs height. We could probably lower that a little bit. I do often emphasize the length of my own arms, so I think that would be probably fine. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Horizontal volume for all of these. Lowering leg scale depth. You know what? We can probably bump that up a little bit. I just want to make like very solid tree trunk looking legs. Muscle can say how it is. Upper leg scale depth. Oh, here we go. Upper leg skinny and fat. Oh, make that fat, please. By all means. Okay, and we just have to remember similar loadout for the right leg. It is very handy that only making a change in the model actually affects the loading. You don't if you just switch between menus, it's pretty much instantaneous. That's very handy. It would be kind of a pain if you had to load each menu each time you wanted to change something. That would make this whole part more tedious. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so custom, here we go. Or actually measure. Okay, we can do hips, upper leg. I mean, honestly, hang on. Upper leg height, that's fine. Height, 158 centimeters, that's also fine. Thigh circumference, we could probably actually bump that up. Calf circumference and lower leg height. Okay, we're gonna bump up calf circumference a little bit. Actually, let me get at the ankle too. There we go. We also want to make the arms also a little bit thicker around than we might normally see. And of course, we have to really bump up the neck because, like I said, the whole game plan for the new MakeHuman form is to just erase any. We must abolish the difference between chin and neck. So let's go for it. I actually have a very short neck. There we go. Now I just gotta increase my height a little bit, and we should be good as gravy. Okay, 157, 160. 164, knock down a centimeter off of that, please. 162.58. I will take it. That is a rounding error difference. Okay, is there anything else we need to... Oh, right, there's stuff like eyes, hair, and teeth and whatnot, huh? Well, that goose is already kind of cooked, if I'm being honest. Actually, I do want to see if it is possible. Hang on, I'm gonna turn off the resource real quick, just so I can see export. Can we? Hang on, Ogre 3D, stereography, OBJ. Oh, there is an OBJ version. Feet on the ground, normals, helper geometry. Wait, I need to add the game engine bones. Okay. Scale units, decimeter, meter, inch. That's... I don't know what that means. Let's go for centimeter. Or actually, no, decimeter is probably fine. Normals. You know what, yeah. And helper geometry. Actually, I don't think we need helper geometry. I think that's fine. Okay. Oh, you can also do the wireframe. Neat. Check that out. Okay, how do I action the export? How do we... Where does that go, precisely? Oh, here we go. There's the button. The text box is empty. Please enter a valid file name. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I understand, I understand. Let's do that. And, okay. Okay, now I'm going to open up CSP, and we are going to see if we can't use that .obj file in CSP directly. All right, so let's just do a new file. I left the obj file in my downloads folder. Oh, baby. Wait, does it have the bones? Can I pose this guy? Hang on. Oh. Okay, so that didn't export with any of the bones, so this is really just kind of a gargoyle of a statue, which can still be helpful. If you want to focus on drawing a specific expression from many different angles, you could probably make a face in the program, export it with the expression you want to practice, or with like a few different head angles, and then just, rotate that around, like bam, bam, bam. Oh, he's gone. I could definitely see the uses for that. I'm sure there must be a way to export with the bones as well. There has to be some method to do that. Okay. So here's where I'm at with this. I think... Is there really no way to just hard reset everything? Yes, there is. There is literally a button for that. Oh, nope. Clothes, clothes. You need clothes. Oh my god, where are the clothes? Good enough. Okay. Nobody move. Nobody even blink. I think we're good. I don't think I'm gonna get demonetized. Wait a minute, I'm not even monetized. How are they gonna punish me? All right. This isn't to say that I'm above the law, but I'm at least above whatever draconic methods of enforcement there are for Twitch TOS. Maybe. Maybe. Possibly. Okay, honestly, I do like how the Meal Casual Suit 02 was treating us. So I'm gonna say materials post/marker. Pardon me. So here's my idea. We do have the random button here. I said we turn down the symmetry, randomize, and then see where the night takes us, just trying to draw these figures. Okay, let me get the details on this particular homunculus. Age 3, 62% male, 70% muscle, surprisingly enough. That's a very buff baby. Height 81 centimeters. Oh boy. Okay, hang on. Oh, hang on. Pose is called the benchmark. I'm guessing because this is just the max test of a model's flexibility, right? Oh my god, its head is so huge that it like gets covered. It reaches up to the hands. Horrific. Oh god, okay. You know what? Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna exit out of Clip Studio and then I'm gonna start a fresh file, and we're just gonna draw these figures. How does that sound for everyone? Does that sound like a plan? Does that sound like something you would enjoy? Because I feel like we've played around quite a bit with the program itself, but it's been less than an hour, and we've already kind of done all of the possible capabilities. I'm gonna do a stretch. Okay. Yeah, we can do this. God. This is killing me. How is its head so ovular? Alright. Start a new file. Get rid of that. Put up the CSV source just so I don't forget. Okay. But yeah, this is really good. The other day I was talking about how there was an interview with Eiichiro Oda, the artist behind One Piece, and he said that a lot of the times he'll focus on making a cool design first, and then he'll get the urge to add it to the story somehow. And I think this is good for that. I think you need some practice in making unique body types in order to make serious advancements in making memorable characters. It's very determined gaze that it has. My God. I feel like I'm not capturing the kind of intensity of its look precisely. It needs more of this. This baby looks like it's 40 years old and is trying to avenge its family, John Wick style. Well, actually, John Wick didn't... That is the thing, that John Wick very much did not avenge his family. Like, he avenged his dog, which some people would say is part of your family, but at the same time, it's like... That doesn't have the same usual connotations, right? Like, technically, if he's avenging his dog, he's still avenging his family, so to speak, but at the same... And, you know, I guess also what the dog represents to him emotionally, which is a whole other can of worms. God. John Wick is a movie franchise is hard carried by its choreographic scenes and its world building. That plot wouldn't have... I don't know if I'd be dissing John Wick, bro. He might be listening. Okay, I never ended up watching the last John Wick movie. I was under the impression that his story ended with a hard full stop. I don't think John Wick is ego searching on Twitch.tv in case some pee-wee guy with less than 500 followers is talking shit about him. You know, he has eyes and ears everywhere, though, so I might be underestimating his informational network. But yeah, like I said, John Wick as a movie is hard carried by its action choreography and world building. It's a modern movie franchise. Death means nothing. You're right. It is a little saddening to admit, but you are absolutely... Is that his thumb? Alright. Godfaust Jr. over here. Guy who has only ever seen one character with super long fingers looking at another character with long fingers, getting some real Faust vibes from this guy. Actually, I don't know. I don't feel like John Wick is gonna come back from the dead. I do think they are going to clone him. Also, I'm pretty sure they're making a movie with a female lead set in that universe as well. I don't know. I like I do enjoy the kind of Young-Hoo esque setting that the John Wick franchise takes place in. This idea that there's like this extra society really that's kind of operating on its own principle and the strength of one's arm. You know, it is very much connected to both connected and not connected to conventional law. You know, it is not beholden to conventional law, but it does have its own laws that are both written and unwritten. That is very wuxia of the setting. That reminds me, I was trying to actually look up. Okay, so the idea of the Jianghu, right? You can think of it, a good translation of the phrase Jianghu is just kind of like underworld, right? It doesn't have. The implication is that it's a lawless place, a place where conventional law and legal safety is not fully guaranteed, and where the influence of conventional legal practices is not existent. And I was trying to think of like a word in it. So underworld comes pretty close, but the thing is that not everybody who's involved in the Jianghu is by necessity a criminal. They just kind of live outside of the law. That doesn't necessarily make you a criminal, it just makes you a person that lives outside of the law. The closest I could come up to it was like calling a place a Sherwood or something. Like the Robin Hood place. But even then, that requires its own kind of cultural meaning and understanding. You could just wholesale borrow the word Jianghu, but that doesn't quite roll off the tongue so well in English. You could also use the phrase underworld, but again, that has so many criminal implications in it that it might be a little bit difficult to shake off. I think Sherwood has a good balance between it being like, okay, this place is above the law, but it's not necessarily for criminal profit only. It has this kind of implication of honor. But yeah, I remember... I do remember watching... That's right, we're calling it Hades. The place, not the guy. That's... They actually had that as the draft for the message written at the gates of hell in Dante's Inferno. You know, instead of abandon all hope, ye who enter here, it's welcome to Hades. The place, not the guy, between parentheses. The guy is, in fact, also here, though. And it's another set of parentheses. That's something that always really made me laugh hard, is the fact that the Divine Comedy borrows so many elements from Greek mythology. Like, Cerberus is there. There's, like, harpies at some point. But it just does not have, like, any reference to the Greek gods, which makes sense because it's, like, a Christian work. But at the same time, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Dante Alighieri kind of playing it fast and loose with the mythical beasts and motifs that he includes. That is the thing as well, is like, Dante Alighieri was absolutely a Greek poetry and storytelling fanboy, but he also needed to, like, stay on brand for the length of the Divine Comedy. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna Google something real quick. Is Hades in the Divine Comedy? Dante was like, man, the Greeks had some ideas. I'm sure the devil put some of those guys in hell. Holy fuck. Wait, Hades is a minor but recurring supporting character in the Divine Comedy. There's a Divine Comedy fandom? Fandom wiki? Okay, no, there is a Divine Comedy fandom. There's a Divine Comedy fandom wiki? Okay, minor but recurring supporting character in the Divine Comedy. King of the Greek underworld, Hades is stern, serious, and grim chthonic god who is in charge of maintaining order within the underworld and determining the placement and punishment of the dead. Okay. Hang on. Is Sagrius around? Why is Sagrius here? A supporting character in the Divine Comedy? Bullshit. No way. Ain't no way Zacharias is here before the Supergiant game. Hang on, hang on. Wait, is this? Hang on. Is this like the Divine Comedy, or is this like the is this? Hang on. Oh, god damn it. A wiki dedicated to an ongoing anthology series that involves elements of religion and mythology, but parodies of dark comedic experiences. God damn it! Don't call your shit the Divine Comedy Wiki if it's not about the Dante Alighieri poem. Pissing me off. I got Smeckledorfed. We got played like a fiddle. I'm sorry, gang. I can't believe I let this happen on my watch. Okay, hang on. List of cultural references in the Divine Comedy. Here we go. Abagliato, Seat Spendthrift Club. What the? A group of rich young Siamese nobles devoted to squandering their fortunes on foolish extravagances and entertainments. Arlocano of Siena was a member. What? Okay, Hades. Cerberus. Okay, no, they only talk about Hades, the place in the Divine Comedy. There's no talk about Hades, the guy. Damn it! Alright. Well, you know what? No way Dante got diversity in the Divine Comedy? What do you... What? What are the... I mean, I guess so? Is the Divine Comedy woke? The greatest threat of all time, locked after 500 pages of heated debate by the moderators. You're talking about a Chinese... I was? No, wait, no, that's not... No, I don't think there's a Chinese guy in the... No, there's no Chinese dudes in the Divine Comedy, I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't... I don't remember talking about any Chinese people. I don't think they were brought up in the Divine Comedy. Maybe there is... Maybe one of the... Maybe Virgil is Chinese. Maybe Virgil is Chinese and they just didn't bother to bring it up because they assumed that we would know. It's hard to say. A lot of the Divine, with posthumous works like these, you must take the liberty of assuming certain things to really understand and appreciate what the book might be trying to tell you. I gotta peep the clip's recording real quick. I don't know. I mean, hang on. No, we got here because I was talking about a term from Chinese fiction, which is the Jianghu. Never mind, didn't go that far back. I guess you might have to wait for the VOD for that, but I don't know. I genuinely don't think I said anything of that nature, but I might have. I don't... That's the ultimate Pab's riddle. Did he actually bring up Chinese culture, or does he just do it so often that it's just... it's a safe assumption to assume it happened? You never know. Okay, here is my idea for how to present this. We're going to use the wand tool. Bump down the tolerance a little bit. Perfect. We're going to expand that by 1 pixel, and then we are going to invert this and use the mask layer. And then we are going to further select just the inside of the contour of this really determined looking baby. And then we're just going to erase that. There we go. It doesn't have... It's really bothering me that there's no shading on the baby. But I really like how the eyes came out. Man on a mission. That's right. I'm also going to remove this fold here. It looks a little strange. The moment anybody brings up Zagreus in a discussion of like Greek mythology or whatever, that's when you know that they're up to some bullshit. Ain't no way you heard of Zagreus before before Hades happened. There's just no way. It's unfathomable to me. Like, I understand that it could be very well a skill issue. Would you please stop spawning without clothes? Alright. Let's go randomize this person again. I'll take it. You know what? This pose looks good. What is this thing? I just hit randomize. I don't know. I just 3D modeled. I just randomized some bullshit for real. Hi, Pearl. Yeah, no. The randomized functions of this program are very powerful. Check out this baby we just made 5 minutes ago. Like, just look at that specimen. This is some kind of guy you find at the gas station. That is very much the thesis, the mission of this program, I think, is that you can just randomly generate a guy you find at a gas station, and it is a valuable experience. I still don't know how to use the fucking camera controls on this thing. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. So right mouse click is to just rotate the model from the perspective of the camera. Okay, left mouse click is rotate the camera this way, but right mouse click actually zooms in on the area that you zoom in on. So let's say I want to zoom in on the foot. There you go. You just hover over the foot. You hover over the face. Okay. Knowing that, I can probably do something pretty good. That seems like a good angle for the head. I'm actually gonna flip it too. This feels like one of the starting profiles you get at a shitty Unity Store Acid game that is called like that's called something like Lawnmower Simulator 200. There is definitely a Lawnmower Simulator. Weird baby's older brother. Hey, I heard you were talking shit about my little brother and his huge egg-shaped head. Is that true? Nobody gets to make fun of the little guy but me. There has to be a There is a I think I have a Lawnmower Simulator in my Steam library. Hang on. Oh my, ain't no... Guys, you're not gonna believe this shit. You are not gonna believe this shit. Look at that. Why is there a dinosaur? Why are you in Jurassic Park? Why do I own you? I must have gotten this thing off of a Humble Bundle a few years ago. I mean, if you think about it, the Triceratops ain't gonna do all the work. It makes sense that you would need at least a couple of dudes on lawnmowers to trim the enclosures every now and again. You reckon they have to move the Triceratops? Hey, somebody had to keep the grass down back then. Ryan is the champion of this bit because he decided to take it a step further and say that there were lawnmowers that existed during the Jurassic period. Which, to clarify, there were. We have the carbon dating information and evidence to prove that. Yeah, Grog's lawnmower. Do you guys... Okay, are you familiar with the lawnmower mod for Doom? Or Doom 2? I first learned about it through a playthrough of myhouse.wad. Nah, that's bullshit. We just haven't found one yet. What do you mean? But yeah, there's this one mod for Doom that gives you a lawnmower as a weapon. I think it replaces your chainsaw. And it literally just puts Doom Guy in a lawnmower. We haven't found a lawnmower Okay, so you're taking the stance that the lawnmowers were part of some kind of trilobite species, presumably? I don't know. Hell, so, you know, some of the displays in Home Depot are so old that I'm surprised that they're not fossils yet. Hey, yo. Bro hasn't seen Flintstones. You say that as a joke, but I genuinely cannot... I remember watching Flintstones at some point. I don't remember what Flintstones... I remember watching Flintstones. I don't remember being aware of what was happening in the Flintstones. Like, I was definitely around for there to be Flintstones airings. I was not old enough to comprehend what was what was generally happening in the Flintstones as a plot line. I'll forever associate Flintstones with the with those chewable vitamins. Not least of which because I think I actually had Flintstones vitamins at one point, and they switched me back to the normal ones because I wouldn't stop eating them. Cartoon trying to be a sitcom is such a weird concept, even more in a caveman setting. Is that why it feels like that? Oh my god. That explains so much. Wait, that's actually a perfect description. There's absolutely cartoons that want to be a sitcom. There's a laugh track and everything. I'd forgotten about the laugh track. Bro forgot about the laugh track. Oh my god. You know what? For the longest time, I was like, man, they don't really make cartoons like the Flintstones anymore. And it's because they are making actual cartoons and not just animated sitcoms. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I don't know, it's something that never would have occurred to me naturally. The idea of the Flintstones as just an animated sitcom. Also, this guy looks so fucking miserable. My god. It started in the 60s, they were making waves. That's true as well. You need to remember that cartooning as a as a medium had only really just started taking off the ground. This man is so sad. There's something very, I don't know, something very soulful in the angle and the way the shadow is overcast. It's a blatant ripoff of The Honeymooner, so that's why it tried? I'm learning so much about television that I was not yet born for today. Wiki page. The Flintstones was the most financially successful and longest running network animated television series for 3 decades. Holy fuck. What dethroned it? What was the one show that was good enough to come at the king and not miss? You didn't know that part? No, I don't fucking know that part. No, I've never even heard of the Honeymooners. Oh, the Simpsons? Okay, yeah, no. Listen, Fred Flintstone, I've known that guy my whole life. But Homer Simpson absolutely fucking trounces Fred Flintstone. I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like Fred Flintstone does have like the caveman strength, and he does have the vibe. You know, he is on that paleo diet very much, so I could imagine he does have quite a bit of strength in his body. But I feel like Homer Simpson has access to like a barbarian rage that very few cartoon characters do. Like, I don't know how to put it. If I heard, okay, so you put me in a room with Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, and fucking, I don't know, Yujiro Hanma. If you put me in a locked cage with those 3 guys, and you said you have to pick one to fight normally, and the other 2 will be in their awakened beast berserk state, I would pick Homer Simpson to be in his normal state. Like, Yujiro Hanma would kill me, but Homer would, like, do some shit to me that I would not be able to survive in a metaphysical sense. Did you just pit those guys against Yujiro Hanma? No, I'm pitting them against me. I'm pitting them against me. You're not listening. I'm saying that if I had to fight one of those guys in their awakened beast state, I would still have Yujiro Hanma in his awakened beast state before I would have to fight Homer Simpson in his awakened beast state. I don't know why. The idea of berserk Homer Simpson is like genuinely terrifying to me. I feel like berserk mode Homer Simpson could do some Beerus shit. I don't know. He's scared of me. He's a frightening man. Okay, this time I will remember to turn off the source for the modeling software, and then put on the clothes first. Enough of being naked. You're not naked anymore. Does imply Homer's beast state is stronger than Unijiro's, and I can't believe that. I believe it. I'm sorry. With all due respect to the ogre, Homer's awakened beast state is much more frightening to me as a concept. Listen, right? There's people who can handle snakes but can't handle spiders. There's people who can handle spiders but they can't handle, I don't know, small pores in the ground. There's people who can handle small pores in the ground but can't handle snakes or spiders. What I'm saying is that if I were put in that position, that would be my choice. The death battle scientists are outside your house laughing, bro? Let them laugh. I will be the one sleeping peacefully at night, being confident in my choice, and knowing that I will never have to see the terrible havoc wrought by awakened beast Homer. Everybody laughed at the people who were freaking out and preparing for Y2K too. And listen, they were the ones who future-proofed technology. The death battle guys would probably give Homer a 1-up because of some tune physics and some obscure comic book moment. I do think Homer Simpson has low-tier cartoon physics. He's not to the extent where he wouldn't get reasonably fucked up by Yujiro Hanma. He would definitely... Okay. Base mode Homer Simpson medium diffs Peter Griffin. Like, I believe that. The thing... I don't know. I don't fear Peter Griffin's berserk... mode. Yeah, more slapstick. I do think that's an accurate way of saying it. How about this one? Yeah, okay, we can also use this one. Peter Griffin has endurance on his side, and an actual canonical fight with Homer proved that. I just got here, but I'm ready for this conversation. Oh yeah, that's true. Wait, there was... Hang on. Canonical fight with Homer Simpson? Elaborate on that. Also, I'm gonna bump up the age slider. We've had baby and we've had the old person. Now let's do somebody that's like 24. Post / animated. There was a Simpsons Family Guy crossover a few years ago, and they threw hands. Like they did battle. Chatty didn't know about the crossover episodes. I will admit to being a fraud and a poser because I have never seen an episode of The Simpsons, and I have never seen an episode of The Family Guy. I feel like I have seen parts of episodes of The Simpsons, but I have for sure never seen a full episode of Family Guy. What is Jim 01? Huh. Okay. Homer started beating Peter with an entire case full of Emmy Awards, and Peter goes, "That's not fair. I don't got those." You're an insane poser right now. I'm not particularly feeling bad about being a poser for not watching The Simpsons or Family Guy, especially The Family Guy. Listen, I could feel like a poser for talking about The Simpsons and never having seen an episode of The Simpsons, talking shit about Homer's feet when you don't even know. Listen. When you're in a life or death situation, you don't follow your knowledge. You don't follow what you know. You don't base your decisions on technical information. You go operate on instinct. All right? And my instinct says, Yujiro Hanma, Peter Griffin, and Homer Simpson, I don't want to fight Homer Simpson berserk state. Like, listen, Yujiro Hanma will, like, flick his ring finger, and my nerves, flesh, and organs will, like, lay themselves out and fold themselves like fresh laundry in a neat pile without spilling a single drop of my blood. But Homer Simpson will straight up do some Mortal Kombat shit to me, and I will feel every second of that. I don't know. Peter Griffin just feels like very plasticine. Like I feel like I could definitely, even in Awakened Beast state, I feel like I could very easily just like palm strike Peter Griffin once in the head, and there would be like a huge bump. Homer is more primal in his anger. I think it's because he chokes Bart. I do think it's because he abuses his son. I do think like that is a strong influence. Because like everybody has seen Homer choking Bart out at least a couple of times, but I don't think I've seen Peter Griffin like particularly attack his own children. He's definitely attacked people, but I do think like Homer, like I could very easily see Homer being in the Saturn devouring his son painting by Goya. I don't think I could see Peter Griffin doing that. I don't think he has that kind of motion. Philosophers discussing Homer's strength. How much stuff has he drunk? That's a valid concern though, because I feel like if he does have, we've all played Street Fighter 6. We know how Jamie's buffs work. We've also all played Yakuza. We know he can do like special heat actions if he has a few in him. Homer being a self-buff character after drinking beer. You know it. God. I do think he genuinely does. I think Homer has created like the drunken fist out of first principles. Like genuinely I do think he did do that. He has managed to They would do it if he was in a fighting game. I'm waiting, Ed Boon. I don't know. I feel like a Simpsons fighting game. How much sauce could you give a Simpsons fighting game? I feel like there was a Simpsons fighter. What? Hang on. Trying to gather all my Simpsons. The Simpsons Wrestling? A sports video game based on the animated television series The Simpsons for the PlayStation. Oh my god. 3D Arena Fighter on the PlayStation. Oh my god. Holy shit. Ned Flanders is top tier. He has the strength of God and anime on his side. Do you have to like fill up your taunt meter? Hang on. There's also a racing game? Okay, I believe that. I do also love that the background sprites are very much just PNGs of the characters. And it's just like, and I can like picture this perfectly in my mind's eye. The stage just rotating and you can see like the PNGs of the characters barely moving. I used to play with your cousin? Aw, cute. Letters float around the wrestling ring, and if a wrestler collects enough of them, they can taunt and temporarily become invincible. A round ends when one wrestler pins their opponent for a 3 count. 2 rounds are needed to win a match. Okay, first of 2. Play for the next Saturday Slammin'. Pearl, Pearl, you have my sword. Thank you. Wait, 2 rounds are needed to win a match, except for fights against Ned Flanders, who heals at the end of both rounds, causing them to take 4 instead of 2. Bullshit! That's so busted. That's so fucked up. Wait, imagine if you had to... Okay, imagine you have to fight this old bad guy, and you got his health and you're like, oh, phew, that was a toughie. And then he immediately just like gets back up like The Undertaker. That's fucked up. I can't believe that shit. That's so scary. That's why Ned is top tier. Better believe it. Does Ned Flanders have a catchphrase? I forget if he does. Well, I don't. Hi diddly doodly. You hear that? You hear that shit, and your blood instinctively freezes. God. Fighting games are such a beautiful science. A terrible art and a beautiful science. That's what they are. The power of being left-handed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really... Honestly, if you got more poses into the program, and you absolutely can. So the version of the program that I downloaded is like the base version, but there are all kinds of asset packs and different models that you can get from the website, and I'm pretty sure most of them are free as well. I don't know, it's very useful if you just want to practice without messing around with human models for too long. Back to Homer power scaling, there's probably some busted version of Homer from one specific episode. I mean, absolutely. Like, there has to be some kind of summer movie special Homer that can access, like, 3 Duff Nirvana touchdown and instantly obliterate his opponents. Like, they probably gave him a can of radioactive beer at some point, and now he had superpowers. I could very easily see that being the plotline for an episode. Everything I know about The Simpsons is based off of 3 things. The first, the kind of whatever I've absorbed from people who have been talking about The Simpsons, and I trust their judgment. Two, a bunch of different, I think it was like Sega Saturn games that we got in a collection disc, right? Back when I was in Ecuador, they used to sell these 100 games collection discs that were usually just a bunch of different Sega Saturn titles, all compiled into an emulator. That's what I assumed they were, at least, which is awesome. I love that for our country. And three is like two sets of comics that I got off of a cousin one time. They were like a small not an omnibus. Okay, what is like the English equivalent of like a tankobon? I guess they're just volumes, right? A couple of volumes of Simpsons comics. That was the most thing Japan phrase I've ever said. What is the English version of tankobon? Like, bro, just say volume. Volume album omnibus? Yeah. That speaking of album, today I was reading about Fits and the Tantrums, which is the band that made that song Hand Clap, and also the one that made 6 a.m., which I really like as a song. And that reminded me that I haven't seen much movement from my favorite band from middle school, AWOL Nation. We call it the Big Mac over here in the States. God. Anyway, I was reading on AWOL Nation because I haven't been keeping up with that band since like the beginning of the pandemic. And it turns out that the frontman for the band, Aaron Bruno, was like, yeah, no, we're releasing our 5th album and then we're not releasing it anymore. I think we're pretty much done. There's no band that has done well after their 5th album. It's almost literally what he said. They quoted him on that shit. He's like, after 5 albums, your band tends to start having problems. And while I will miss him, I can't help but respect that as an impetus for not making more music with your current group. I don't know. While I do believe that you should reject superstition and put your faith into science, I do also think that there is a very compelling force. I do recognize that there is a very compelling force within intuition. Especially if you're somebody who doesn't believe into intuition normally or in superstition normally, and you're like, oh man, I got a bad feeling about this, I'm getting like bad mojo from this. That's probably your instincts. It's probably your instincts telling you to get out of there, and I can respect that. I wonder if that is an observable phenomenon too. I do wonder which bands he might have been referring to when he said like, you know, they don't make good music after, or like they started to go south after their 5th album. Like that's definitely some shit you say when you've seen a really bad nasty band breakup. So I'm wondering whose he saw. Okay, then we remove this part here. Then we get this one up to normal. Maybe move it over here a little bit. I'm trying so hard to make this like hashtag aesthetic type of a composition. Hashtag my guy. You know what? I do really love that meme. I think I remember with like I remember it started with like this post about fairies, and it's like you're showing off your fairy in a jar, and she's like hashtag my twig. I think that's how it began, and I do admit that that it does have some charm. I do enjoy it quite a bit. Okay. And then over here too. And actually we're we're going to need to suppress the old man's shoulder here. But yeah, see, it's very dynamic. I was actually thinking about that. Did you all like did everyone enjoy the thumbnail for today? Hang on, let me pull that up in case you forgot what it looks like. Did everybody enjoy the thumbnail for today? I recycled some old art from one of the stream schedules, and then I tried to just make a good color contrast, and I'm really enjoying how it came out. I don't know, I don't know how to put it. Like, it was a lot of fun to make this, and I've got the one for Thursday cooked up too, and I think it's got a very similar vibe. I don't know. At first I thought it would be kind of a pain to do, but it's very satisfying when it turns out right. It's very satisfying to put the, like, you know, everybody jokes about like graphic design is my passion and everything, right? But like, there is a lot of enjoyment to be found from doing the graphic design competently. And that sounds so, you know, that sounds like a no-brainer, but it's so, I don't know, there was something very magical about it to me when it all came together. That being said, going to try, I think we're gonna try and do something similar for this page, and then we're gonna end it for tonight. So first of all, let's crop this to a more reasonable size. Now we can have a little bit more on the side there. Now we gotta include the hand, unfortunately. I do think we have to include the hand. So I think maybe we move this one down and to the left. That's gonna fuck a little bit with the masks that I've been using, but that's okay. Okay. Can we cluster them even closer? No. You know what? Maybe I should move the grandpa outside a little bit. Maybe that's the move. Which one of these is the grandpa? This one. Here we go. Masks as a layer are so useful up until you have to move something, in which case it is very much an instance of mask incident 500 injured, 3,000 dead. I don't know what it is about masks that makes them so finicky to work with. This is just a man at a different stages of life. I guess that's true, huh? On my what has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the noon, and 3 legs at the evening type shit. Sphinxes be like hashtag my riddle. Can you imagine how awesome of a hang a Sphinx would be? Like, as long as you don't start doing anything about the riddles, like, as long as you keep the riddles at a medium pace, like, you don't provoke so many riddles, I do think that hanging out with a Sphinx would be genuinely awesome. I don't know. Think about it this way, right? Sphinxes, very thoughtful, clearly very thoughtful because of the riddles, very considerate conversational partners. I think you could make a real case for them being, a great hang. They keep bringing out the riddles without even prompting it. Sounds like you need to establish some boundaries with your Sphinx friend. Maybe we gotta start to. Maybe we need to work on ourselves a little bit. Sphinxes are less likely to fuck you over than a genie. That's absolutely true. You know what? That is absolutely true. But the thing is that Sphinxes don't grant wishes unless your wish is to like go somewhere. If your wish is to like cross the street or listen, there's no worse day than like when you're at a toll booth and the person operating the toll booth is a Sphinx. Because you just know they're all gonna be on that bullshit of, you know what, keep the change. You know what I got for you? A riddle. Answer that shit and you can go. And you're like, well, dude, come on. There's like 5 fucking cars behind me. Can we not? I'm in the box. I make the rules. Now listen to my riddles 3. Come on, man. I have the easy pass or something. Can I not just go? It's rough. Really, it is quite difficult. Also, I'm realizing now that I put the old man too far to the right. Three of them? I don't think we got time for that. Yeah. Listen, City Hall's been fucking us over. We barely have any support for logistics. You think we can afford 3 riddles a shift? Listen, we're all tightening our belts. You're gonna have to make do with 1 riddle and maybe a tongue twister. Just want to get in my fucking house and the Sphinx is busy asking me what an empty barrel is full of. What is an empty barrel full of? Oh, hello. Acreas! Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm Paps, a racing VTuber and artist. So we've been checking out this program today. Hang on, let me see if I've still got it up. Yuppers. The riddle economy is in shambles. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we've been checking out this program called MakeHuman, which is... it's basically a character creator, but it is very realistic, and you can also randomize a bunch of the features to make a very strange looking person or a person you might personally know. I don't know. Have you seen this person before in your dreams? Have you seen this person before? We've all surely met someone like this with their gentle eyes, broad ears, perfectly reasonably sized forehead. We've all known somebody like this, right? Anyway, we sketched a couple of them out and now we're just trying to arrange them in a cool way. Normal man, definitely. Hang on, I have to give you a shout out, have I? My bad. But yeah, good work out there. Thank you for rating. I do appreciate it. If you feel the need to take a rest, and cool your heels, go for it. Oops, wait, no, that's the wrong layer. Hang on, it's this one. No? Oh, wait, no, it's this one. Here we go. But yeah, you were playing Judgment. Was it Judgment today? I feel like I remember you putting up a thumbnail for Judgment. I hope you had fun with that. I've been meaning to give the Judgment series a shot, but I don't make enough time to play an RGG game in my day-to-day life. Playing an RGG game sometimes feels like you're getting a puppy. Like, it's a very long-term commitment. Same, it's been sitting in my playlist for a while. I thought it was, but I'm dumb and forgot that I was doing Fly Night, so I finished that and then did some Dark Souls. Sick. What's Fly Night about? I've never heard of that game before. It sounds interesting though. I do like how much these colors in particular pop. I think I'm gonna overlay those a little bit over the normal ones. But yeah, I hope you had fun either way. I haven't played Dark Souls myself, but you know, everybody's heard good things about that series. It's RuneScape Dark Souls, short, sweet, and cheap. Definite recommend. That sounds like a fascinating mixture. I don't have too many hours on RuneScape myself, but I do remember dying a lot. So you know what? I feel like that would introduce some sauce to the. What if you mix in like the punishment mechanics for dying in Dark Souls? Hmm. Hang on, I'm gonna try doing something. Can I edit the brightness for this? I do appreciate that I never ended up finding Neopet. The one that I ended up finding myself, or not even actually. I was gonna say like everybody got introduced to like those like those kinds of online games, those web MMOs, right? Club Penguin, RuneScape, God forgive me, but Free Realms. We all got introduced to those by friends, right? Or Neopets as well. I feel like I don't remember finding any of those websites on my own. It was always somebody recommending it to me or saying, "Yo, you know what's cool?" And you know, like, but as like a 5-year-old, you know what's so cool? Check out this game. You can be a penguin and make pizza. I'm like nodding my head, like, "You're what? You know what? That is fucking awesome. I love that." I don't know. How do you make accomplishments in RuneScape? I feel like it's a very esoteric kind of game. Okay, I should probably make it a color other than solid, zero saturation, zero luminosity, zero volume. Wait, I already said luminosity? Zero alpha? I don't know. Anyway, it's probably a good idea to make it an actual color rather than just like the same black color that I'm using for the line art. God, that reminds me, because Pearl brought it up the other day, because she's doing her MMO Batsu, I guess you would call it. I do want to check out more about it, the information and kind of history of Maple's story, because I did what any reasonable man would do, and I tried to check out the TV tropes page for it to see what was good. And even the TV tropes page is like just constantly bitching about the playing quality of the game, like the slog of it. So I really want to dig into that. I feel like it's a very juicy topic. I feel like most people have some horror story from when they played an MMO or two. Okay, we'll make this a clipping layer, and we'll just do this. Never played MMOs because my family's computer couldn't handle it. Absolutely fair. You know what? I get you. That is a perfectly understandable circumstance. I remember there was a period. So, okay, fun fact. When I went to university, I actually decided to the email account that I'd been using for it must have been since I was like 10 or 11 years old. I had an email account that I had been using since then because I had used it because my dad had introduced me and had taught me how to do email because he wanted me to send him messages because we were apart for a while when I was like 5. I never really got the hang of that, but I did end up using that email to sign up for a bunch of different MMOs. And so when I finally got to university, I was like, you know what? This shit probably has like 5 million malware requests on it or some shit. I should probably just nuke it and move on to a new one. And I did do that. Good times. I'm going to reduce a little bit of the. I'm going to like reduce. I'm going to turn the old man sprite into like a sawed-off barrel. Somewhere out there is an email I made when I was like 11, still getting messages. Yep. I don't know. It's kind of thrilling in a way. Not necessarily a sense of permanence per se, but definitely some sense that you're not going to be able to undo what you've just done. I don't know, there is that saying that the internet is full of ghosts. Perhaps there is some truth to it. Okay, I'm going to need to do some surgical removal to stop the old man intersecting from the bald head underneath. Low key, I'm not gonna bring up that story, but you know what? It is really funny how email is so permanent yet so impermanent. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna make this guy shine on from the back. Okay. Oops, hang on. And there we go. And just a little bit on the top of the jowls too, why not? God, the old man expression is so haunting for some reason. I don't know, it's really good. No, that... I'm gonna blur out this one, though. There we go. Worried by the weight of the world. It's hell getting old. God. I bet he's currently thinking about how he died to Beast State Homer. Can you imagine just like Imagine with me for a moment, you're visiting a hospital, right? Like maybe your friend broke their leg or something, and you're coming to visit, and you end up in the wrong room, and you see an old man in his final moments, right? You don't know that he's about to go, but just before the monitor flatlines, he's like, he, oh my god, he's on 3 cans of Duff, and then beep. Like, can you imagine how fucked up that would be? I don't want to think about it personally. Okay, how are we doing this? Incredible scenario you've constructed. Thank you very much. I do pride myself on this. Okay, so maybe if I just... I don't know, I'm trying to... Hang on, is there like a... There has to be something I can do to make it more harmonious, the way these three are arranged. I do think having to go back out into the hospital to find the right room haunted by those final words. God. This is the plot of an episode of House MD. Like they have a very nonsensical final words moment, like Citizen Kane, but it turns out to be just some weird, forgotten Homer Simpsons bit. Paz, would you believe me? There's a Simpsons fan comic with exactly what you described. Is it that one about... Okay. Is it that one about the guy whose brother has lost his... Like, the brother has had some kind of mental damage, and now the only way he can communicate is through Simpsons references? I remember reading that comic. It fucked me up in a big way. Oh my god. Oh, wait, no, you're talking about the one... No, Homer Beast Mode. Holy shit. Wait, I remember reading this one, too. Hang on. Let me put this up on the Jumbotron. Here at the Springfield Nuclear Power Plant, we're entering our second week of the C. Montgomery Burns Memorial Martial Arts Tournament. I'm your celebrity host, Kent Brockman. For those just tuning in, this all started when a stray gust of wind tragically shook the life of our town's beloved geriatric tyrant, Monty Burns. To decide who would inherit his massive fortune, he devised a post-mortem fighting tournament open to the public. As you can imagine, the whole town's shown up to compete. Including me. In fact, I'm up next. Krusty Takeover! Yeah, I'm coming. I'm still recovering from my fight with Bumblebee Man. God, this is fantastic. I do enjoy myself. Listen, tournament arcs get a lot of shit, and perhaps rightfully so, but you have to admit it. There's something just irresistible about the idea of a bunch of people coming together to beat the shit out of each other. Like, genuinely something just deeply compelling about that concept. I love tournament arcs so much. They're so good sometimes. Okay, we're gonna... Okay, we're gonna erase this part here. My proper introduction to Shonen was early Dragon Ball, so of course... that makes a lot of... To be fair, the first World Martial Arts Tournament arc in Dragon Ball is kind of untouchable. You know, there's something deeply... It does feel like that's the first time Obviously, there's other occasions, but I do feel like the first World Martial Arts tournament we see in Dragon Ball has a distinct benefit of also being kind of when the series thesis kind of comes into full display, because up until then, it had still been primarily like a gag manga, and it had its, of course, gag manga moments. But I do think when they entered into the tournament arc, it was like, okay, you thought that this was just a funny story about the journey to the West. Turns out, no. It's also a story about how humans have no limits and you can eventually achieve anything. There is no peak. There is no highest point. You can always keep going higher. And you should try to keep going higher. You should try to be the best version of yourself, the strongest version of yourself that you can be. I don't know. There's something that's deeply wonderful about it. Hang on, Pearl just sent me an image. This is it. The only other person strong enough to make it this far. The last opponent. The ultimate challenge. The boy. Oh my god. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this feels like the moments before Ivan. You guys know that picture? Ivan the Terrible and his son Ivan? That painting? Hang on. Are you familiar with this? I have to finish reading this. Hang on, I'm gonna hang on. I should post a link that Pearl sent. There we go. It feels like moments before this happens. Oh my god! I remember. Actually, I was reading this page the other day. There is a crazy phrase in this section of the Wikipedia article for it. So, creation. According to Rapin, the design and painting of the canvas were a lengthy process. Yada yada yada. Most of Rapin's work involved the choice of models. He sought the faces he needed from acquaintances and passers-by. The models for Ivan the Terrible were the painter Grigory Miastoyov and the composer Pavel Bladenberg, while the landscape painter Vladimir Mink and writer Vsevolod Garshin modeled for Savage Ivan Ivanovich. When asked about choosing Garshin, Rapin replied, "There is a predestination in Garshin's face that struck me. He has the face of a man irreparably condemned to perish. This is what was needed for my Savage." Do you think he told Garshin this? Like, that's a crazy ass thing to say about one of your models. Do you think that? I mean, hang on. Where's Garshin? Do we have eyes on Garshin? Do we know what Garshin looks like? Okay, yeah, I kind of see it. I mean, I guess that's everyone to a degree. Yeah, that's true. We all die someday. That's true. But I can kind of see what he means. He has very lamb-like eyes. You know what I mean? He definitely has the eyes of someone who is fated to die horribly, to demonstrate that the world that the world suffers no innocence. But God, was Garshin around when he said this? Like, can you imagine him saying this off the dome and Garshin sitting next to him, like, on a stool and being like, "Wait, what? What do you mean by that?" Pause. Hold the interview. Cut the mics. What do you mean by that precisely? I mean, it's true that we're all fated to die, but like at the same time, irreparably condemned to perish. That's a different thing. That's a different thing from dying. There is dying, and then there's like irreparably being condemned to perish. Like, It's like the difference between, oh yeah, this character dies in the story, and this character is doomed to die in the story. Like, can we talk about the doom narratives inherent in the picture and the painting? Something's gonna go down. Yeah, you're not gonna just die of old age. You're not gonna have a peaceful death. Not not if Rapin has anything to say about it. You know, I don't know why I expected him to have actually based it on the actual Ivan, the painting, I mean. I don't know why I expected it to look anything like the actual Ivan. It makes much more sense that he just based it off of a friend of his. Like, it makes a lot of sense, but I don't know, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, but at the same time, it's like, huh. I would have thought it would look like the real guy. Wait, what? Why is it like that? Hang on. Wait, why is it like that? Oh, wait, I know why. Cursive art program. Yeah! Like I said, mask layers are so useful up until you need to move anything. At that point, they turn on you like a treacherous snake. We need to do this with more people's sonas nowadays? Elaborate on that. Perhaps can I use your rice form to represent Julius Caesar? You know what? I was gonna save this for after I was finished with the game, but I'm gonna let you all in on a little secret. I'm gonna let you in on some behind-the-scenes bullshit that I've been doing. So y'all are familiar with the Hollow Knight thumbnails that I've been putting out? The ones that I've been painting? So there is actually a very important thing that's been happening with those. So hang on, let me see if I can actually find it. Somewhere around here? So all of the pictures in all the poses and the compositions in the Hollow Knight thumbnails are based off of a real painting. So the first one here is based off of a painting called Hope by George Frederick Watts, which looks like this. All of them are based off of paintings that either represent death or rebirth. So the first one is Hope by George Frederick Watts. This one is a symbolic painting. I at first tried to go for a symbolic lean because I wanted to lean on the idea of symbolic paintings because that was where the Isle of the Dead and the Shores of Oblivion came from Signalis. And you can actually see a very small reference to the Shores of Oblivion in the fucking rocks back here, which are based on the rocks from that painting. Episode 2's was from this one called... Where is it? The Death of... What's his nuts? Oh, whoa. I can't be showing all that. I can't be showing all that. Hang on. Pump the brakes. I can't be showing all that. One moment. I'm gonna apply some tasteful censorship. Okay. We should be fine now. Okay, so this one is called... What is the name of this painting? The Death of Priam. The Death of Priam. And episodes 3 is based on another symbolist paintings. I don't remember if this one was also a George Frederick Watts one. I do think this one was painted by the same guy who did either The Shores of Oblivion or The Isle of the Dead. It's called The Homecoming by Arnold Bocklin. And it looks like this. And I'm going to make a more in-depth analysis and discussion of how these all related to one another. But I just wanted you to know that that is a real-ass thing that I did. I did use, in fact, my rice form, not to represent the Julius Caesar, but definitely to represent something. And I have so much fun doing it. I really did have a blast finding these paintings and trying to create something meaningful from them. But yeah, that's everybody's treat for coming out to the stream today and learning a little bit about what I've been up to art-wise with those. Thank you. I'm glad everyone liked that. Okay. I wonder if I could maybe just move these a little bit to the left. No. Seriously, this old man's bald head has been giving me so much trouble, it's kind of ridiculous. Hang on, let me apply some half-toning to this as well. Actually, maybe I could do it the other way around or something. Actually, yeah, let me try that. So let me just hit invert on this. Increase the brightness and contrast. Then... I guess it'd be lighten, huh? Oh, that looks kind of cool, actually. I like that effect. Okay, forget about that for a second. Let's actually apply a color gradient into the gradients first. I like this one. And what we can do is we can use this color, but maybe like a darker blue. Maybe lighten how much of it is coming through. We should also add some kind of background to it. Actually, first what we should probably do is crop everything. And then... I mean, I do have some of these fun... Ooh, actually, what's this? Not sure. Oh yeah, this'll do. We'll put this up, make it smaller, and flip it around so it's not so... like that, and then we are going to rasterize that, lower the contrast, and increase the brightness. Maybe lower the contrast a little bit more. Maybe switch up the hue a little bit as well. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Or actually maybe just a little less contrast as well. And more brightness as well. Just enough that there's some texture there, but not enough to actually see anything meaningful. Okay. well, this has been a productive time. I'm definitely going to try and use MakeHuman to just draw random sketches. I've recently been feeling dissatisfied with how I approach drawing people. I feel like I've hit a couple of roadblocks, so I think this is going to be a big help for that. Okay, let me think. Is anybody else streaming today? Might be able to raid into them. Oh, there's a couple of people. Foxy's doing stuff. Okay, let's go raid Foxy then. Alright, in the meantime, I will see you all on Thursday to try out Sweet Home 3D. That's going to be very exciting because it's a building construction one, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun as well. Yeah, thank you all for coming by. I appreciate you making the time, making great conversation as always. Take it easy, and I'll see you on Thursday. Talk to you later. Bye.